today with Miss Rose Benson, Miss Rose to us, right? And Miss Rose is a member of our board, and we are delighted to have her. She came to us by way of Porter Leaf, because Porter Leaf is our client eligible services position, and we're delighted to have you. And I was just thinking, I asked you how long you had been on the board, and I believe you told me it's been 4 years?
I believe it's been about 4 years now. Yeah. Yes. I was excited from the first time I was asked to join the board. And the first year I was, I guess, getting a feel for the board, how things operate and stuff. And then after that, I was asked to be the secretary of the board. After I retired, I was concerned that because I was no longer working at Porter Leaf, that I'd have to leave the board. But I was told I could stay and was asked to stay, and I said, yes, I'll stay. And I'm very excited to be a part of this board because I really, truly believe in what MALS is doing. There's a need out there, such a great need, and I'm always promoting MALS. Especially the people that talk to me. And it's so funny now that people know I'm on the board, I get a lot of problems and I get a chance to say, okay, let me see who I can talk to. Let me see what I can find out. And so I'm excited. Like I did, I was a retired veteran, and for the last 17 years of my military service, I worked in legal. So, this is really exciting for me to see how the outside world works versus the military legal world. I'm even to the point of wanting to go sit in one of the courtrooms just to see the difference between a military judge and a civilian judge. I've had that experience. It was like night and day. But as far as MALS goes, I've had the opportunity to recommend people to MALS, and they were taken care of.
Which is wonderful.
And I'm just so glad to have that knowledge. But before I came on the board, everybody's heard of MALS, but you really don't know what MALS does. And so I'm learning each and every day how extensive the services are that are provided by MALS. So I'm just excited to be here and be a part of it.
So we are delighted to have you. I mean, I've said this before, and I'll say it to you again. You are what anybody would hope for in a board member. If we call you and say, Ms. Rose, would you please? You've never turned me down. You've never said no.
No.
And you've done it graciously, and you've done it pleasantly. It's like, oh my goodness. So we are very grateful. And as far as MALS goes, we are excited for other reasons too. This is the start of our 50th year. Mm-hmm. We had hoped to be celebrating it in a different way, but unfortunately COVID had different plans. So we are doing the best we can, and we will celebrate at some point in this year. But what we're focusing on is helping all those people.
Absolutely.
I mean, we have people, and you and I have talked about this, but there are people who never thought they would need MALS services.
Absolutely.
And we are here for them. We offer advice clinics or online, like phone advice, in addition to just regularly handling cases. So you might want to call and say, I'm doing my Social Security, I'm having trouble. Or do I have to, because typically before with Social Security, you had to wait for, not Social Security, I'm sorry, with unemployment.
Yes.
With unemployment, you had to wait 4 weeks to get it. And now that's been cut. So you're now immediately available. You can immediately access those funds as soon as you can actually get through to unemployment compensation and register. And then we get questions like, okay, do I have to certify each week? And typically you would be required to certify that you were looking for a job.
Yes.
Well, now the state still says that you have to certify, but there are requirements about it say that they have altered so that if you are looking online and if there's anything out there, then you can say, I've looked, I've applied. Okay. But you may also simply be able to say, I have looked and there is nothing available, which is new.
It is. That's great.
Yeah.
Because, I'm sorry, if you're in a situation where you've got to worry about how your family's going to eat, how you're going to pay your bills, you don't need that added stress.
You don't.
So
you need
that's
your money.
Wonderful. And you need your money.
Yeah.
I was watching this morning, I don't remember where it was, they showed these 5 individuals. This one woman was the sole provider for her family, her daughter and her grandchildren. She's down to $400, doesn't know what she's going to do. this one man said that, you know, I got to make a choice between buying my insulin and making sure my children eat.
Yeah.
It's a dire time and need out there now. So
Yeah, but even with the stimulus check, you get your
Yes.
$1,200 stimulus check,
mhm,
and you pay what? Do you pay your MLGW bill?
right.
Or do you pay your rent, or do you pay a little bit on each, and what about food?
Do you buy medication if you're on medications? What do
And
you
how
do?
long is that $1,200 gonna last? And how long is it supposed to have to last? How long are you gonna be without anything?
Right.
So those are questions that we can assist with
Mhm,
in terms of saying, let us work with your landlord,
mhm,
or let me tell you the numbers, the cutoff numbers for MLGW, because right now
Mhm.
MLGW says they're not
Right.
cutting off anybody,
Mhm.
but they can't do that forever and
That's
ever.
right.
So let's look ahead to the future and kind of make a plan.
Mhm.
And we're in a position to help people do that right now
That's
too,
awesome.
on our advice clinics, just online advice.
That's awesome.
So,
I need those numbers.
523-8822, right there will get you
Okay.
straight on into us. And then if
Okay.
you have a housing issue,
Mhm.
it's 432-HOME.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when people come, not so much interacting with people now, but when people come to me or call me and say, well, I know someone, you know, then I can pass that information on.
Well,
I'm
and we're
glad
getting ready to have a COVID hotline that is supposed to open up this next week,
Okay.
where you can call and say something like, do I have to certify to get my unemployment? Or can I
Wonderful.
take my grandmother out of the nursing home because she hasn't been changed?
Yes,
And,
yes,
during COVID,
yes,
the employees aren't
yes.
coming to work, and I take her out?
Yes.
And we can talk to them about bed holds and Medicaid
Yes.
and eligibility and what happens.
And it's funny you say that because I talked to one of my daughter's friends about her 96-year-old mother who was in one nursing home. She brought her home, had to put her back in another nursing home, and the insurance didn't want to pay. But I gave her some other information to work with, and so it's coming together.
Well, and if it doesn't, she can call us.
Well, she's in Illinois.
Oh, she can't call us.
No, she can't call us.
I'm sorry. We can help her if she were
But I was
here.
able to give her some information based on my experiences, not only through MALS, but the local SHIP office here too. So it's just, people need help and they don't know where to go.
They do. And at least for the people here, MALS is here to help. We want to help. That's our goal. That's our job.
Great thing.
So.
And I'm just so excited to be a part of MALS because being on the inside now, I know the job that MALS does. I've heard a little bit about it before I joined the board, but if you don't have a need and no one ever brings anything to you, you don't know anything about it.
You don't see it in action, and now you have.
Yeah.
Well, we're grateful for you.
I'm glad to be here. I'm very glad to be here.